Hey, my Liptons. So I wanted to come in here and do a quick video on politics. I keep saying I don't want to be long, but I feel like anytime when I start, because when it comes to politics, my blood pressure goes up. My blood pressure goes up, and I do tend to rant and veer off. But I want to quick. So I'm gonna drag. I'm gonna drag the Bernie Sanders left, and the DSA types and the House on Pikers when it comes to this whole Tom Steyer situation. I'm going to drag it because y'all get on my nerves. And this is why, like, you have the contrarians coming out. This is why people don't want to be identifying with the fucking left and shit like that. Like, they just want to be independent. It's because of y'all. Like, because y'all do stupid shit. And then now, when the, like, when I saw this, I was just like, you know what? This is even more so because I know California is a mess. It has always been a mess, but at the end of the day, it's like if Bernie Sanders and like the Bernie Sanders left and these DSA types, these Hassan Piker types wants to actually make some freaking change. And honestly, this also goes for Zohran too. And I'm gonna talk about him in a second. But like, if y'all really want some freaking change in our politics and all these different things, you would be supporting the more independent and the people that lean more towards your ideology, not no fucking billionaire. So I'm gonna get to it because I'm gonna drag it when it comes to that segment. But first, I want to discuss Zohran and this interview that he did with what is it, previously known as MSNBC, now known as what is it called, MS now. I don't know. And then next we're gonna talk about Graham Plattner at the end because, child, listen. I feel like many things can be true at the same time when it comes to like Graham Plattner and this whole situation with Maine and many things can be true, right? So I'm going to talk about that last. So, but before I continue on with this video, if you guys want to watch any of my previous political talk reviews, because you already know I'm very spontaneous and very animated when I do my political talk videos. So if you guys want to watch any of my previous political talk videos, it's on my dragging politicians playlist. Because let me tell you something, it's very rarely where I'm praising a politician. For the most part, I'm always roasting them, I'm always dragging them, I'm always going off on them. So if you guys want to hear any of those previous roasts and rants and tugging on their wigs, it's on my dragging politicians playlist that you guys can go on my channel. So first, let's talk about Zohran, because I think this is going to be really quick. So Zohran did an interview with MS Now with this interviewer, and I'm glad, and I'm just gonna mostly speak about the first half of the interview. I'm glad that this journalist guy, he started off with talking to Zohran about uh race, more specifically about Black Americans in New York City. So let me just say this, right? I come from an immigrant family. I'm first generation to be born here, but my family is, you know, migrated to this country. So, and even for me, right? Even me coming from an immigrant background, of course, I also have my views about immigration, but whatever, that's a whole different. I feel like it's still forming as time goes on. I really don't have a definite answer because I feel like it's so complicated. But but overall, I feel like I am pro immigration. But like, but whatever. Either way, that's like a whole other conversation for another day. But so the interview started off with talking to Zohran about like how like his poll numbers are going up with Black New Yorkers. It's like up now like by 55%, and it's higher than any other race group in New York City. And like previously, when Zohran won the primary, he won the primary without a majority Black vote. So basically, that's how the conversation started, and it kind of led up to the journalist asking Zohran about like, hey, like, with the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, the Democratic Socialists, the Bernie Sanders wing of the party, while they do talk about good, they talk about things that matter to a lot of people, which is true. They talk about a lot of class politics and eating the rich and all those different things, but they do tend to leave out the race issue, and if not anything, don't talk about it at all. And race does play a factor in a lot of the policies that are played out, and it mostly affects the Black community. And the reason why I'm happy that, and Zoran's answers, I would say, like, for the most part, like, his answers were way better here compared to, because I know that he apologized. When was it? He did an interview with some, I don't know if she's like an Instagram influencer or YouTuber. I don't know her name specifically. If you guys know her name, you guys can put her in the comments. But like, he somewhat, I don't want to say like like, yes, he apologized, but it was a weak apology where he was, because like she was like, you when you won the election, you went to say that, oh, that New York City was built by immigrants and all these different, like, basically giving all the credit to the immigrants. But she was like, listen, I mean, even though she was a little bit timid, but like, she was like, but you also left out, you know Black freedmen, Black Americans, and like, Native Americans, and all those different things. And Zoran was like, yeah, like, I apologize for that. And I was very excited. Like, we need to also talk about the contributions that Black Americans contributed to New York. And me speaking as like an immigrant, I do feel like, coming from an immigrant background, I do feel like Zoran does tend to kind of like tiptoe around race, particularly when it's around Black people in NYC. And I'm not fooling with it, because at the end of the day, like, because especially as time goes on, I'm doing a lot more research, and how much like Black Americans, Black freedmen have really, really fought, not just for like them to be seen as human beings, but like for the Civil Rights Act and all these different things. And really, Black Americans are the reason why migration even started happening into this country. And which is something that I suggest you guys definitely go research, because it was because of Black Americans' fight for equality and for equal rights that led to the, America opening its borders, and on a faster scale. So, um, so just like me seeing that, doing a lot of that research, and also just, it's not just something where it's like, oh, the contributions that Black American, no, Black Americans built NYC. Like, let's not, like, it's not just like, they had crumbs, they did a little bit here and there. No, they did the shit. They did the shit. So it's like, I think that, I did like Zoran's answers. I'm not gonna say everything right now, but like, I suggest you guys go watch the interview. I thought that it was a really good interview. And I'm also glad that this interviewer, um, started off the interview with that, because I think that Zoran does need to do a lot more when it comes to the Black community in NYC. Like, I feel like, and listen, all these politicians, like, but I feel like when it comes to Zoran, I'm never gonna, let me just be very clear, I'm never gonna stand a politician. I'm never gonna go be a fan for anybody. I'm not the K-Ive, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe that there should be anybody that should be fans of politicians. At the end of the day, politicians are public servants. So it's like, there's no standing over here. You elect them to get the job done. If they don't, vote their asses out, period. So I think that, like, for me personally, I would like, and he just got in, so whatever, but like, I would want him to do more when it comes to the Black community, especially when it comes to, and of course, most of the stuff that he's doing is like, it's for everybody, basically. It's for all New York. Oh, yes, that's wonderful. But there's particular things where it's like, when it's, especially when it comes to Black people, where like their needs and their struggles are extremely unique when it comes to this country. And when it comes to like NYC. So I think that there needs to be more of a emphasis on like, what are the policies specifically for Black people in New York City. Okay, not the immigrants, not for this person, that, no. Yes, you can do it for the immigrants and for the, yes, I get that, wonderful, love that. I come from an immigrant family, I want my family to be supported. But what are you going to do specifically for Black people in NYC? Because their struggles and their issues are extremely unique, and it goes back to slavery. It goes back to the systematic issues, and he did point that out. I'll give him some props on that. He did point that out, and point out a policy that Rudy Giuliani put in place that he just recently paused, because it was disproportionately affecting Black people compared to their white counterparts. So yeah, so I just wanted to point that out. I definitely suggest you guys go watch this interview. It was a good interview, and I'm glad that this journalist started off with that question, and also speaking about how DSA sometimes like they do avoid this, they do avoid race, and I feel like, you know, I understand the class thing, I guess, like the rich and the poor, like there is, the rich are getting richer, which is true, and the poor are getting poorer, and it's, but even in that situation, black people are still being disproportionately affected more. Even with that situation, with the poor are getting poorer, black people are getting even more poorer in that situation. You know what I mean? Because of race. So those are the things that I feel like we need to address head on. It needs to be specific for black people, I would say. So that's just my thoughts on that. But let's get to the next topic. Speaking of DSA, speaking of the Bernie Sanders left wing on the party, let me just say this: y'all are dumb as hell. Bernie Sanders, you're dumb as hell. Hassan Piker, you're dumb as hell. All the DSA politicians that supported Tom Steyer, y'all are dumb as hell. Like, here's my thing, right? And let me just say it flat out. Let me just say it flat out. I do not believe in someone who is rich as fuck, especially someone who is a billionaire, being a class traitor, okay, and coming into politics to be. Let me just. Why? Here's my thing. Here's my thing, right? Why is Tom Steyer? Why did Tom Steyer? Because listen, we already know about freaking, what's this guy's name? Xavier Becerra. We already know about him. We already know he's establishment. He's whatever, whatever. But so is Tom Steyer. So is Tom Steyer. So the fact that Tom Steyer gave the DSA a little bit of crumbs, talking about some, oh, I'm gonna do this climate change, and the man is still a billionaire. And Tom Steyer goes against everything, literally everything that the DSA, that the Democratic Socialists stand for. So the fact that Bernie Sanders' dumb old Zionist ass, along with Hassan Piker's stupid ass, endorsing Tom Steyer instead of endorsing someone who was clearly in that race, Butch Ware, whose politics are more aligned with y'all. Well, not really Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders he's a liberal Zionist at this point. Like y'all need to go see what Bernie Sanders says about this whole, it isn't real, and this man, Bernie Sanders, we need to hang it up with him, because he is a whole Zionist. Just because he has a cute little, we gotta tax the rich kind of thing, that don't mean shit. The man is for the man is for the state of isn't real. He is for the occupation, y'all. I'm sorry, and it breaks my heart too, because I really loved Bernie Sanders at a certain point in my life when I was younger, but now his true colors are shown. But either way, even with Bernie Sanders at that, Bernie Sanders has always said, like, okay, like the billionaires, there shouldn't be billionaires, there shouldn't be da-da. So it's like, okay, if there shouldn't be billionaires, why are you supporting a billionaire? Why didn't you support the candidate that was, I already know the media doesn't like to cover these other candidates, because, the media is biased and they're bought and paid for. Why didn't you support Butch Ware? Butch Ware was also in the race. Why didn't you support him? Why not? And let me just say this when it comes to Tom Steyer. And mind you, only for Tom Steyer to get out the race and endorse the guy who took all this corporate money, all these things from all these different corporations, only for him to go and endorse Xavier Becerra. And let me just say this about Tom Steyer. And this is why I feel like there needs to be a ban. Well, one, I don't believe that billionaires should exist either way. It goes against my values and my principles. But to me, I feel like if you are like a billionaire and even a millionaire too, yeah, I'm gonna go with millionaire and billionaires. I don't think that you should be a politician. You shouldn't. Why do you need to get into politics in order to quote unquote help people? Why don't you just do it right now as it is? You have the money. And that's, I feel like we're not asking the necessary questions here. Why is it billionaires want to get into office and want to get into politics to help the public or to help the people, quote unquote, when they can just do that right now? Why isn't Tom Steyer putting in money into climate change initiatives right now? Why is he putting money into whatever abortion clinics right now? What is it called? Planned Parenthood, and whatever policies he's talking about. Why isn't he doing that right now? As he is a billionaire, what's stopping him from doing that right now? What's stopping him from using his money and distributing his money to communities that need resources? What's stopping him from doing that? Why does he want to do? Why does he want to become a politician? So, let me jump through hoops and go through the executive, the legislature, in freaking California. Why do you want to go through those hoops in politics as a billionaire? Why not just distribute your wealth as it is right now while you're not a politician? While you've been rich all your life. And I remember Tom Steyer because I remember him running for president back in I think it was like what, 2019, like 2018, 2019, 2020, during that time. So I just, for me, I don't understand these millionaires and billionaires that want to get into politics because they feel like, oh, I can make a change for the people. Bitch, make the change now. What's stopping you from this? What's stopping you from helping? What's stopping you from handling the homelessness situation that's going on in California right now with your money? Because you can handle that. You don't need to become a politician to do that. You have the money, you have the resources, you have the money to set up public housing, to build public housing with your money, so that these unhoused people can get home, can get a place to stay, get food to eat. So to me, I feel like these politicians, and you already know what it is. These billionaires, and we see it with Trump, we see it with these other politicians. They get into politics. It's a money. It's a business. It's a business. Trump is getting richer and richer while he's the president of the United States, because he's doing all these deals with, like, with the Saudis, with the Qataris, and all these different people. He has all these deals going on, which quote unquote is illegal, but I guess not, because y'all never want to punish the president, so he really is above the law. You have like these Congress people doing all kinds of stock. How you guys call it? Stock. How you guys say it? Stock something. When they sell stock, and when they sell the stock and things like that. Those are very, even though it should be illegal, but it's not. It's a money laundering scheme. Like, this whole thing, from the top to the bottom, the whole political system is rotten to its core. So this is why sometimes, like, I just, like, yes, I'll be wanting to vote in the people that I particularly align with when it comes to my politics, but at the same time, it's like, yo, overall, to its core, like, the shit is corrupt. Like, the shit needs to be brought down, bro. Like, bring the shit down and start over, because it's like, it's not a fair system. It's a system built on oppression. It's imperialist in its nature. It's violent in its nature, and it's corrupt. It's corrupt to its core. So I just feel like Tom Steyer, him being a quote unquote billionaire, it's like, girl, at the end of the day, if you really wanted to make a difference in people's lives, you'd be doing that right now without you going into politics. And on top of that, it would be easier for you to do that. You don't have to go through the freaking House, the Senate, the this, the that, the blah, 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 blah. Getting into fights with presidents and politicians over. Just do it right now in your private life. You can improve people's lives. Let me say something. If I ever become a millionaire, I promise you will never see me step foot. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I know all the charities I'm gonna support. I know the difference. Like, man in the mirror, no Michael Jackson. Okay, like, if you want to make a change, look at yourself in the mirror. Like, what? So this whole thing is just the whole California thing. Everything that's going on in California right now, it's been a bunch of buffoonery all over my timeline. Okay, so either way. Hassan Piker and Bernie Sanders and them, they look like stupid clowns for endorsing Tom Steyer, only for Tom Steyer to come back around and endorse Xavier Becerra. And honestly, I would respect Hassan, especially Bernie Sanders. He's one thing. At this point, I give up on Bernie Sanders, but Hassan Piker in particularly is like, bro, you could have really gave a platform to Butch Ware, because he's someone that you align with more compared to freaking Tom Steyer. So if you would have gave him a platform the way that you give everybody else a platform, and you also gave this billionaire a platform. Even though, if I was Hassan Piker, why didn't you ask Tom Steyer, hey, you're a billionaire right now. You got coin right now. Why do you want to get into politics to do the shit? Why can't you just do the shit right now as it is? I would have respect that more for him to press Tom Steyer on that. But y'all wanted to portray Tom Steyer to be this like class trader. Bro, he ain't no class trader. Stop it. So that's just my thoughts on that. At the end of the day, my Californians that are subscribed to me, good luck to y'all. I know it's a mess with the mayor race, and I even have my whole thoughts about that. This whole situation, the people being angry about celebrities supporting what's his name, that Pratt guy over Bass, and it's like, bro, y'all never. And listen, I'm not saying that that Pratt, that what's his name, Spencer Pratt. I'm not saying that guy is, you know, he has good policies. That's not what I'm saying. But y'all refuse to look at the failures that the Democrats have had in California. Because, mind you, California's been Democrat for like how long? Decades and decades and decades. And yet, and mind you, this is not me going Republican, just me speaking as like an independent thinker. Okay? Y'all don't hold accountable what those establishment Democrats do in these states that fuck up these states to the point where people want to swing the other pendulum. They want to swing to the other side. And instead of looking at these politicians and say, hey, like, especially those Democratic politicians, where it's like, what is it that these voters are now moving to the right on? What are we not doing here? Why do y'all guys keep failing us? Y'all want to be blaming the freaking voters. That shit gets on my nerves. Either way, that's just my thoughts on that. We're going to move on. So this is my last segment. Let me see you guys something. Listen, I feel like I have many thoughts about this because I was just listening to Breaking Points, and like Chris Rabb was kind of like saying like, listen, at the end of the day, I don't know Grant Plattner, I don't know what, but it is a little bit interesting that like him being a white straight guy, he got all these scandals, Nazi tattoo, allegedly beating bitches up, masturbating in bathrooms, like it's just and then the Reddit post and the so it's, and then he can run to mental health, PTSD, mental health, because I was, and I get, listen, maybe there is PTSD, I get it, he was a Marine, I think, at one point, so it's like, okay, I get that, but it's like he also gets a lot of leeway that I feel like that, and this is what Chris Rabb says, that like, someone like him being a black politician would never get away with when it comes to things like that. And I'm not saying too that like Graham Plattner isn't getting the scrutiny, because let's be very clear. Let's just put it flat on the table. The reason why all these things are coming out about Graham Plattner is because Graham Plattner, for what I understand, he doesn't take any AIPAC money. He kind of talks out against the Israeli lobby and what's going on in I think he spoke about the Gaza jet. I don't follow him too much, but from what I understand, they did say that like, the AIPAC lobby does not like him. So listen, if AIPAC lobby don't like anybody, that's my, I'm gonna be listening to that person. I'm gonna be hearing what they gotta say. Okay. So from what I understand, he's very like, anti-Israel. Like he's not here for like money being sent to isn't real while we got poor people in Maine. So it's like I can get with that. And he's very also like very anti-oligarchy. And let's just be very clear. That's the reason why they come for him. That's the same reason why they came for freaking Zohran. And I remember that whole situation that happened with Zohran's wife, where they went through her tweets when she was like 15 years old, and she was calling people the N-word. Either way, like and don't get me wrong, like all those things can be true. Like we can still hold people accountable for the fuck shit that they do in their personal lives, but we also not going to stand and act as if like none of this would not be coming out if these people were not staunch Zionists. Like we just got to keep it a stack. And that's what's happening with Glenn Plattner. Like Glenn Plattner has been, I feel like anytime, like it's just, I think the first time it was like the Nazi tattoo was when I first heard like the first controversy, and then they said that he was cheating, or that he did cheat on his wife, and But then he recently, it's just, I don't know. And then like, then the thing with the bathroom where he was masturbating in the bathroom back in the day when he was like a Marine. And then now this new piece that came out a few days ago about him allegedly twisting women's arm. I don't know, like allegedly being a domestic abuser. Listen, and he denied the abuse things. Like he denied the him twisting a woman's arm or, well, I don't know, forcibly grabbing her, whatever. He denied all that, but he did admit to the Nazi tattoo that he had on his chest. Um, he said that he didn't know there was a Nazi tattoo, whatever. Um, he denied the what was it? He admitted to the Nazi tattoo. He admitted to jacking off in the bathroom. Um, he also admitted to cheating on his wife. But the wife did a video, and she said that she forgave him and things like that, and they're working on it and they're trying to have a baby. Either way, listen, if she likes it, we love it at this point. If she wants to stay with a man that be cheating on her and just recently stopped cheating on her in 2023, from what I understand, in 2023 was it? That's her business. At the end of the day, these people. Let's just be very clear. These politicians ain't moral. Like, come on, y'all. I'm not about to hold Grand Platinum. And listen, I got my, you know, I got my things, but it's like these politicians are not more like, and that's the thing too. Is like I don't want, what I don't like is the media, the mainstream media, to be more specific, preaching about, oh, this guy's like a da da da. He's, bro. Are y'all like most of these politicians? They out here cheating. They out here having orgies and doing all kinds of disgusting. Like wasn't what's her name? Christy Noam's husband, a whole cross dresser. Like it's just, none of these people are moral. None of them are moral. So I'm not about to hold someone to a standard that I never held anybody else. All the bar is in hell at this point. Forget it. Yeah, none of you. There's no values in the shit. Like I said before, the system overall, this whole system, the way American politics is built up, is corrupt to its core. Everything with the Epstein stuff and how that, like, from the top to the bottom. And I think overall the shit needs to be like destroyed and start back up again. Like just get destroyed, take all that shit out, start back up again. But whatever, that's just me. I'm in the minority. But when it comes to like people trying to play like morality police on the freaking Zionist CNN and Zionist, I'm not about to. Y'all can shut the hell up. Most of the politicians that y'all support, and on top of that, a good amount of the mainstream media supports the genocides. They support the ethnic cleansing that Israel is doing to Lebanon and what they're doing to Gaza and what they're doing to Iran. So they're gonna preach morality to about Grand Platinum and what he did and him hitting, like, him cheating or Nazi tech. Like, girl, bye. Y'all support whole genocides. Y'all support imperialism. So y'all not about to preach morality police to me. That's just number. That's just. I'm not even doing that with y'all. So y'all can have that. But I will say this though. I think, let me tell you something. The internet is gonna be the death of these politicians. Let me tell you that. Like, I feel like if these politicians want to run for office, like they have to like clean out their social medias and stuff like that. Like and I get it too. Certain things people are gonna come out about you, but that's one thing. But for the other shit, because I know like with the Nazi tattoo, like that was on his Reddit or some shit like that. He should have got that shit scrapped from the net before he became a politician. Like, just scrap y'all shit. Scrap it. Cause like they are going to go digging for your things. They're gonna go digging for your things, and you don't want that shit out there. And let me tell you something. Some of the shit, like he's just some, there's some bottom feeding ass shit, okay? Because it's like, at the end of the day, people are gonna, I think, and he just won today. He just won the what was it, the primary for the election, which it was already known because what's her name, Janet Mills, dropped out, even though her name was on the ballot, but she dropped out. So now he's gonna go one-on-one with Susan Collins. And I think that, maybe the constituents of Maine are like, listen, like, yeah, like the guy's weird, like he, jacking off in the bathroom. But at the end of the day, like, yo, like my rent is too high. The gas, gas and oil is too high. Like, people are poor. Like, they care more about the economy than about people's personal lives. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm low key at that point too right now. Like, I think there's a like I'm yo, like, I don't look at any of these people as if they're freaking Malcolm X, okay? Like, none of these people do nothing for me when it comes to like their personal lives. Like, I'm at the point now where it's like, yeah, I'm disgusted. Like, yeah, I'm not really too here for the cheating stuff. Like, that sometimes gets on my nerves. And I have a thing too with, but anyway, it's just my own personal opinion. I just think that, like, if you don't want to be in a relationship, then don't be in one. And if you're in one, don't cheat. And like, I feel like, and that's the situation with grandpa. All I'm saying is that, like, at the end of the day, that's the part where it's like, I also got to hold them accountable, where it's like, okay, none of these women or whatever, these women wouldn't be coming out against you saying certain things if your ass wasn't out there cheating. So think with your freaking head and not with your penis next time, and these stories won't come out about you. That's just that on that. Either way, you guys know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let's get up to 2,000 subscribers, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.